story. We'll be diving into a deep and dark, scary story that will have you nail-biting by the end. Let's get into it. The storm had already killed the power by the time I reached the old farmhouse. My phone died on one last vibration. Inside, the air smelled like wet wood and something metallic. My flashlight beam shook across peeling wallpaper and dusty family portraits. The portraits were wrong. Every painted face stared a little too directly at where I stood. Their eyes glossy, almost wet. Thunder rolled, and somewhere deep in the house, something wooden slammed shut. I told myself it was just the wind and didn't believe it. On a side table lay an old tape recorder. Its red light explicitly on. The label read only, "Play when you're alone." My thumb hovered, then pressed the button. Static out first, then a trembling voice that sounded exactly like mine whispered, "Don't turn around." Every hair on my neck rose. I hadn't moved, but I could feel breath, slow and damp, tracing the back of my head. I spun around, swinging the beam. Nothing. Just the empty foyer, except now every portrait on the wall had their backs turned. The recorder crackled again. "You came back," my voice said, sounding relieved. "This time, don't go upstairs." I had never been here before. Naturally, I looked towards the stairs. The top was swallowed in darkness, yet the wooden steps were damp, as if something had just climbed down. Another flash of lightning lit the windows. For a single heartbeat, a tall, thin figure stood silhouetted at the top of the stairs, then vanished with the thunder. My story on the tape rose to a frantic whisper. It's like the dark gaps between things. Doors, stairs, blinks. Don't give it gaps. I forced myself to keep my eyes wide, unblinking. As I backed into the living room, the TV in the corner turned on by itself. No channel, just grey static. Until my own face emerged, staring from the screen, eyes bloodshot, cheeks wet. "You're late," it mouthed silently. Words crawled across the bottom of the screen like a news ticker. "Do not let it finish climbing." I heard a step creak behind me. I swung the light back to the silence. A hand, too long-fingered, gripped the banister halfway up. Pale skin slick as though freshly peeled. My feet wouldn't move. Behind me, the TV version of my whisper clearly now, through the static. "You have to make it notice you." "How?" I croaked. The recorder answered, Instead, in a voice wrecked by screams, "Stop pretending you didn't bring it. Show it what you remember." A memory slammed into me. This house, the same storm, my hand reaching out, pushing someone else up, these stairs whispering, "You go first." My stomach turned. I stepped towards the stairs now, each tread sticky underfoot, like walking through spilled syrup that didn't want to let go. The hand of the banister withdrew into the dark. Something heavier shifted above, scraping along the walls, dragging itself higher, closer to the ceiling. At the top of the valley, the hallway stretched impossibly long. Doors on either side, breathing open and shut with the storm. The house had grown extra space. One door stood perfectly still at the far end, too still. A child's nightlight glowed beneath it, casting a soft, sickly green halo. My voice on the TV, now echoing through the house, chanted, "Bedroom, second on the left, where you left her, where you learned it could follow gaps." I opened the second door on the left. The room was small, wallpaper with faded clouds, a tiny bed neatly made, dust thick as snow. On the pillow lay a Polaroid. It showed me standing exactly where I stood now in this room. Tonight, except there was something tall behind me. I raised my flashlight slowly. The beam crawled up the wall, across the ceiling, until it found two glossy black shapes, eyes wide open, waiting. The thing unfolded from the ceiling, joints bending the wrong way, peeling itself out of the dark like it had been painted there in wet ink. Its skin was the colour of old photographs, pale and stained. Its face was smudged, version of mine, features dragging into a permanent almost smile. "When you blink," it gurgled in my voice. I moved closer. "That's our game. You taught me that when you shut the door on her." My eyes burned from refusing to close. Tears blurred my vision, turning its outline into a darker smear. "I didn't mean," I started. It leaned in, forehead touching mine, cold and damp. "Meaning doesn't matter," it whispered. "Gaps do. You left a gap, and I grew in it." The recorder screamed suddenly, my own voice looping. "Don't blink, don't blink, don't blink." Panicked, I laughed, and in that tiny shudder, my eyes closed. Darkness swallowed a heartbeat when my eyes snapped open. I was back in the foyer, drenched, standing at the front door with my dead phone. The tape recorder waited on the side of the table, red light glowing. The label now read, "Play when you're alone." Again. Outside, thunder rolled like a question. I heard a car approach on the wet road, the sound of someone else arriving. The recorder clicked itself to rewind. That was tonight's horror story. This one's called When You Blink. If you liked this video and would love to see more, please subscribe and like to the channel.